socialism. And this man is largely responsible for that, Antonio Gramsci. Antonio Gramsci was an Italian Marxist socialist and social engineer. He was the founding member and one-time leader of the Italian Communist Party. Gramsci was one of the most influential Marxist thinkers of the 20th century and a key thinker in the development of Western Marxism. After an attempt on Italian dictator Benito Mussolini's life in November 1926, the Italian fascist government passed emergency laws after which police arrested and imprisoned Gramsci for his anti-fascist political views. Gramsci died in prison on April 27, 1939 at the age of 46. Classical Marxism had predicted that socialist revolution was inevitable in capitalist societies. By the early 20th century, no such revolution had occurred in the most advanced nations on the earth. As capitalism seemed more entrenched than ever, Gramsci suggested that capitalism maintained control not just through violence and political and economic coercion, but also through ideology. Gramsci argued that the bourgeoisie had developed a hegemonic culture which propagated its own values and norms so that they became the common values of the everyday person. But people in the working class had come to identify their own good with the good of the bourgeoisie and would even help to maintain the status quo rather than revolting against it. Gramsci argued that capitalist power through cultural hegemony needed to be challenged by building a socialist counter-hegemony. To counter the notion that bourgeoisie values represented natural or normal values for society, Gramsci suggested that the working class could not dominate purely through force and coercion, but rather it needed to infiltrate existing culture and to develop a socialist counterculture of their own. This is what's in full sway in our world right now. Gramsci felt that socialists could do this by exerting intellectual leadership and making alliances with a variety of societal forces, thus creating a nexus of institutions, social relations, and ideas. Gramsci called for a kind of education system that would develop socialist intellectuals, whose primary task would be to reform the existing intellectual activity of the masses and make it natively critical of the status quo. This is the basis of modern, quote, critical theory, which you've probably heard much about today. Viewing bourgeois cultural values as being tied to folklore, popular culture, and religion, Gramsci argued that those cultural institutions should be the first and foremost toward which socialists should direct their cultural subversion efforts. Gramsci described this tactic as what he called a war of position, and felt that such a war should be waged by revolutionaries through political agitation and the advancement of a socialist culture. This strategy has come to be called cultural Marxism in the modern day. So he is the grandfather of cultural Marxism.